Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to Live with Heather Vickery. I am Heather Vickery. I didn't do my countdown video this time. I forgot. So it's been one of those weeks. In fact, it's been one of those couple of months. Hey, Natasha, welcome. We are live here on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And I'm glad that you are here. Thank you for taking just a little bit of time out of your busy life to be here with me and with each other. This is just a really lovely gift you can give yourself to take a few minutes to stay connected. So, just a little reminder whether you've been here before or you're new, my name is Heather Vickery. I'm a transformational success coach, and what I specialize in is helping folks just like you learn to lead from a place of embodied joy, self confidence, self awareness, self trust. All of those things are your birthright. Now, we've been trained over and over and over again to think that we can't have those things unless we please everybody, unless we check off all the boxes, unless we achieve a certain level of success. And I'm here to tell you that that is not true. That is a line of bullshit that was sold to you to keep you in line and to keep you behaving the way other people want you to behave. But through some intentional work that is it's very simple. It doesn't mean it's easy, but it's very simple. And in just a few minutes a day, a couple times a week, you can build that foundation of knowing yourself, trusting yourself, loving yourself, being compassionate with yourself, and having joy as a foundational set point. If you are interested to learn about doing that with me, follow all the links in my bio. That is easy to do. I have all sorts of workshops. I have a membership that is amazing. The Spark Collective, we do international retreats. We're registering people for Costa Rica right now. That's going to be fantastic. I have books. I have manifestation cards, so many different things and so many different ways you can show up for yourself. It doesn't have to take a lot of time or a lot of money. Also, I'm here live every Thursday at 12 p.m. Central. It's a wonderful way to show up for yourself in a small bite-sized way. It doesn't cost you a thing. For those of you who are commenting, hearting, sharing, thank you, thank you, thank you. That is something you can do that makes a big difference to me, and I'm super, super grateful. Y'all, today's topic is forgiving yourself, being stuck in regret. So let me share a story. I turned 50 this past Monday, December 9th. It was a wild experience. I don't feel like whatever 50 sounds like, whatever that means. I don't feel that way, but the truth is I'm on the back half of this ride, and there's no denying that. That's okay though. And a couple of weeks ago I woke up and I thought, gosh, there are so many more amazing, incredible things that I absolutely intend to do and experience and have in my life. But wow, Heather, you're going to be 50 and now I am. And it's time to get this show on the road, right? So I believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that we can create anything we want in life if we're clear about what it is, if we're thoughtful about it, if we're intentional about it. Remember that manifestation isn't about declaring something and it magically happens. Manifestation is about declaring something and then shifting the way you show up in the world to make it happen. And here's where this topic for this week, regret, forgiveness, self-forgiveness, all of that comes into play. As I was approaching my birthday, I found myself spending a lot of time in reflection of choices that I've made, things that I've done. I kind of feel like I've lived 4 or 5 lifetimes in the last 50 years. I don't know about the rest of you. I've changed a lot. When I was 38, I came out of the closet after a decade of marriage and 4 kids. I got a divorce. I kind of burned my whole life down. I closed my successful, thriving business and started over as a transformational success coach. That was crazy. But, in the process of growing and evolving and taking care of yourself, which is important, inevitably there are going to be things maybe you wish you'd done differently, or people that get harmed or hurt in the process. And it would be so lovely. It would be so lovely if we could have our growth trajectory and our personal expansion without ever having any fallout. But it's just not realistic. It's just not possible. Even if you communicate well, if you have the best boundaries in the world, um, if you have great communication, people are still going to get hurt, and not everybody's going to like your choices or your decisions. And sometimes, as is my case, sometimes we just flat out make mistakes. No matter what our intentions are, no matter how great your motivation, sometimes you make decisions or choices or take action that cause harm and don't have the intended desired result. Now, we don't always know that. We're not always aware, certainly not at the moment, but even years later, if we don't actively practice what I call the 3 R's: reassessment, reframing, resilience. That is a key component in the BRAVE method. The BRAVE method is my patented, trademarked, strategic approach to problem solving, dreaming, designing, building, and actually having a life that you are madly in love with. And BRAVE is an acronym. It stands for boundaries, the 3 R's: reassessment, reframing, resilience, action and accountability, vulnerability, and then your result is E, expansion and empowerment. This can apply to you in every way, shape, or form. I wrote a book about it. It's called Fuck Fearless. If you're watching on LinkedIn or YouTube, you can see it over my shoulder. You guys can't see it, and I'm not going to turn around and grab it right now on TikTok, but it's there. And for people on my newsletter list, you can get it for 30% off right now. I didn't mean to plug that, but there we go. So within the BRAVE method, within the 3 R's, reassessment, reframing, resilience, making sure that you are taking intentional time to look at what has happened in your recent past or in your far away past, in your several lifetimes ago past, and recognizing what worked and what didn't, and what you've learned since then. And you're right. Natasha commented that mistakes are part of growing, and mistakes are absolutely a part of growing. But where we actually grow is in recognizing them, in being honest about them. If an apology is owed to someone, give that apology and give it without asking for forgiveness necessarily. If you need to ask for forgiveness, you can. But what I mean by that is, if you need to apologize to someone, the best thing to do is to say, I did this thing, and regardless of my motivation or my intention, it caused you harm. The reasons I made those choices aren't really relevant, but I'm sorry that it hurt you. I'm genuinely sorry that it hurt you. And I've actually been going through that process with myself, with several of my loved ones, because I am sorry. I don't know that I would change it. Some of the things I would change, and some of the things I wouldn't change. But I am sorry that people got hurt in the process. I wish that it didn't have to happen that way. But we are only human beings. And so the topic of today's live show is self-forgiveness, living in regret, letting your choices and mistakes have all the power over you. And my love, you deserve to forgive yourself. You deserve to have compassion for yourself. And I know that can be really difficult because, again, we live in a society where we have been trained over and over and over again to sacrifice ourselves, to give ourselves away for the betterment of everyone else. It's not the healthy option. And it also doesn't work, right? It makes you angry. It makes you bitter. It burns you out. It certainly has done that for me. It doesn't mean that you're the best caregiver for other people, because we can't give other people things that we are not able to give ourselves. So if you truly want to connect and communicate with other people, then you have to connect and communicate with yourself. If you truly want to offer forgiveness to other people or receive forgiveness from other people, then you have to forgive yourself. So what does this process look like? How do we do that? You have to start by allowing a little bit of quiet space in your mind, in your life, in your heart. And that can be really difficult, because if we get too quiet, we might not like what we hear. We're afraid that we might not like what we hear, but also that's where the gold is. That's where you learn what you want to do next, so that you can take radical responsibility for yourself. We cannot change or control anyone but ourselves. But when you change yourself, the people around you change. Taking radical responsibility is something that means, regardless of the circumstances around you, you take responsibility for how you engage or respond in everything that is happening in your life. It doesn't mean that there isn't shit going down. It doesn't mean that other people maybe don't do icky things, or in the United States right now, the election didn't fuck us all over, because it absolutely did. It absolutely did. And yet we have to say, with that in mind, how do I want to be? Who do I want to be? What do I want my next steps to be? What am I going to do now? That's taking radical responsibility for yourself. And forgive yourself. So here are some quick tips, just a few things. There's stuff in my book, Fuck Fearless. If you join my my Spark Collective membership, $18 a month, we have all sorts of tools in our content library on how to practice this. But if you want to just start right now today, I highly recommend sitting quietly, maybe setting a timer if you like to have maybe meditation music or something like that. Light a candle, take a big deep breath in, do it a couple of times, in through your nose, exhale through your mouth. And then sit quietly and ask yourself, ask your heart, your soul center, your intuition, what do I need to forgive myself for today? And just sit, maybe even just 5 or 10 minutes, sit with that. And then after the timer goes off, journal or talk out loud. If you don't like writing, you don't like journaling, or you could type it, whatever you want. What showed up? And don't overthink it. Your mind doesn't always tell you the truth. I want you to connect with your body, with your intuition, with your heart, with your soul, right? So journal and see what comes up. You might surprise yourself. You might not even expect the things that your subconscious is going to show you. So when I work with clients, we start with human design, which allows us to really, truly know ourselves as we are designed to be. And then we can uncover what bullshit the society has put on us that isn't ours. And then we use subconscious reprogramming to shift limiting decisions and beliefs, to shift energy and mindset, and literally change ourselves on a subconscious neurological level. Awareness, though, is always going to be the very first step. It's going to be the key to everything. Awareness will change your life before you even have a chance to think about it. If you stop and practice those 3 R's, reassessment, reframing, resilience, and learn something about yourself, you will already change. You will already be changed before you even do anything else. And then you have to take action, right? Because it's not in the thinking of things where change occurs. It's in the doing of things where change occurs. So then you've thought about it and you've become aware. Once you're aware, you only really have 2 options. You either create change or you willfully ignore it and you allow yourself to feel awful. And if you're doing that, you know it. So then you say, okay, now with this, what do I want to do? Now, there are some really cool, try that again. There are some really cool self-forgiveness exercises. After you do that journaling, you write down all the things you need to forgive yourself for. You can literally say, I forgive myself for XYZ. I forgive myself for this. And then you can cross it out. And then when you're done with the whole list, you can take the whole list and rip it up and you can burn it, or you can put it in water and watch it dissolve and release it. I release this out into the world. This does not have power over me anymore, because you matter. Because forgiving yourself is the key to expansion and growth and happiness and joy. And I want that for you. I want that for you. I want it for me. I want it for all of us, because we deserve that. And I hope that you know that. So many tools and resources. I'm going to be leading a workshop called Reset at the beginning of the year. I think it's on January 9th. I'm not sure 100%. We haven't started promoting it yet. It's free for the members in my Spark Collective. So it's $97, or join the Spark Collective for $18 a month and come for free, your choice. But we are going to do a lot of reassessment and reframing. And we're going to talk about wintering. We're going to talk about So I personally, and so the clients who work with me and the people who are in my collectives, my communities, my memberships, um, we practice what we following nature's path instead of the calendar path. So when January hits, I'm wintering. I'm resting just like the trees do, just like the flowers do. I'm taking that opportunity to hibernate and build up my reserves. And then in the spring, we bloom, right? And we grow in that space. And so we are doing a reset workshop at the beginning of January. Again, $97, but it's free for members of my Spark Collective. You can join for $18 a month. You can see where that math works out, right? And within this, we're practicing self-forgiveness. We're practicing awareness, getting clear on what worked for us throughout the year, what didn't work for us throughout the year, what we want more of, what we want less of. And then we are going to do a cord cutting ceremony, which is such a beautiful experience. Being honest about what we need to let go of from the past year so that we can release it from ourselves, from our heart, from the world. We can cut those energetic cords. So it's a really beautiful experience. What I love doing is creating communities filled with people who are ready to show up for themselves and one another, who are ready to prioritize their own self-awareness, self-love, self-care, self-confidence, self-compassion, and their own joy. Prioritizing your own joy. Because when you show up from a position where joy is your set point instead of your default, you show up differently, you engage differently, and you have more fun in the process of growing and creating. Because it can be a very lonely, difficult, painful process, but it doesn't have to be all the time. You can find joy, you can seek gratitude in those moments. Those are the communities that I build when we go on retreats in the Spark Collective, when you're working with me one-on-one or VIP coaching. You truly cannot help others if you cannot help yourself. Yeah, that's 100% true. It is 100% true. So right now, I would like to give you all a little gift. I would like to guide us through a short EFT tapping meditation. So for those of you who are familiar or aren't familiar, EFT is emotional freedom technique. It is part of an NLP practice. We tap on the different meridian points in the body, and it literally frees us and reprograms us on a subconscious neurological level. It's easy. It feels fantastic to do. Caveat, I've had a couple people who have been through conversion therapy who have been forced to do this for evil. And I want you to know that this shit works really well. And that's why they use it sometimes for icky things. So if that triggers anything in you, some people will just rub the spots or just listen to the affirmations. That's okay too. But the tapping is really profound. So if you don't have any trauma with it, the tapping makes a difference. And we always start on the karate chop point. You can do either hand when we go through I'm going to tell you the points. We start on the karate chop point, then we do the inner eye. You can do one side, the other, or both. The outer eye, again, one side, the other, or both. Under the eye, one side, the other, or both, whatever you want. Under the nose, under the mouth, the collarbone. So you just sort of find your collarbone and go down to the soft point below it, tap there, under your arm, and the top of your head. And I'm going to talk you through that. But before we do that, this is something unique to me and anyone who works with me only, but I like to have you just stretch a little, rub your shoulder, roll your shoulders, roll your neck, whatever feels good. Oh, how often do we need to take a break in the day and stretch and roll, and we don't give that to ourselves? Do that for a second and then take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale with a big sigh. Put your left hand over your heart and your right hand over your left, and then repeat after me, either out loud or in your mind. This is the Ho'oponopono prayer. Thank you. I'm sorry. I forgive you. I love you. And then we're going to start with our tapping meditation. And again, we start on the karate chop point. This is where we speak truth to the icky. This is where we speak out the thing we want to release. All right. So we're tapping our karate chop point right here on our hand. Repeat after me, either out loud or in your mind. Even though I'm holding on to guilt and self-judgment, I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. Even though I find it difficult to forgive myself for past choices or mistakes, I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. Even though forgiving myself is really hard, I know that I am human, and I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. All right. Now we're going to move through the points, starting with the eyebrow point. I feel this guilt weighing on me. Side of the eye. I have made mistakes and I have been so hard on myself. This judgment of myself, it's so heavy. Under the nose. I feel like I should have done better, been better. Under the mouth. But I am always learning, growing, and evolving. Collarbone. I forgive myself for not being perfect. I know that I'm only human. Under the arm. It's safe to let go of this guilt now. It is safe to forgive myself right now. Top of the head. I choose to release this weight of shame and guilt and show myself compassion. Go through each point one more time. Eyebrow point. I forgive myself for being human. And I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. Side of the eye. I'm always doing the best I can. Under the eye. It is safe to forgive myself. I am allowed to forgive myself. Under the nose, it's okay to let all of this go. I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. Under the mouth, I am worthy of love and acceptance. I am worthy of forgiveness. Collarbone. I choose self-forgiveness. I choose peace. I choose self-compassion. I choose love. And that starts with me. Under the arm, I am free from guilt. Top of the head, I deeply and completely forgive myself. I deeply and completely forgive myself. I deeply and completely forgive myself. When you're ready, you can gently stop tapping and just sort of sit with yourself for a moment and imagine that there's a white light that comes up from the ground up into your body. And it starts spreading this white light from your heart center. And as quick as you can imagine it, this bright white light envelops your entire body because the subconscious mind works very fast. This is this beautiful, healing white light, and it engulfs your entire body and it bursts out of you. And all of a sudden, this beautiful white light of forgiveness and love is bigger than you. It takes up the entire room, and then the entire building, the entire block, your whole street, your town, your state, the entire country, the entire globe is lit up with this light of healing, forgiveness, and love. Thank you so much for going on this journey with me today. I am Heather Vickery. I'm here every Thursday at 12 p.m. Central. We have a new topic every week, but if you like what I'm saying, you like what I'm into, I would love to have you join us inside the Spark Collective. Again, it's $18 a month, but if you're on my newsletter list, you can join for 30% off of that $18 a month in perpetuity, forever. You can do it forever, which is really cool. Join me in Costa Rica. You can save $500 on the retreat, or just come back. Tell people about it. How about that? Just tell people about me and my show and help me spread the word and get everything out there, because I know that together, collectively, we can change the world. We all know that the energetic vibration of the world is shifting in a massive way. We're seeing it play out. And sometimes everything has to fall and crumble and unravel so that we can see the truth for ourselves and how we want to rebuild and who we want to be as we take this radical self-responsibility. And loving yourself is the most wonderful place to start. So thank you for trusting yourself, for giving this gift to yourself, and for giving it to me. My name is Heather Vickery, and I'm here to remind you today and every day to go out and choose yourself bravely. And I'll be back next week. I'll see you then. Bye.